It was that moment when he stepped out of the van as that character that the whole crew would just stop and go, holy shit, what is that?
You know what I'll say did actually surprise me about you on this one is your work ethic, your hours.
Oh, because you went through a hoop on this that you'd never gone through.
No, like we actually were never in the same room. We would write over the phone. So then when we got to set and we were kind of in pre-production and kind of, bringing the cast together and rewriting and stuff, I was surprised by Rick's hours because I think you thought I was driving you into the ground. I thought you were driving me into the ground.
Yeah, well, that was what this film needed. We both needed like work all day and then work pretty much into the night, or all weekend. And
what did you like about filming in New Orleans?
the only time I ever really went out was your birthday, that Saturday night.
That's right.
Showed up at a dinner.
That was our one dinner out. That was like a kind of a wonderful blessing, actually, I think, is the fact that we were looking at different places to shoot this, and Louisiana and New Orleans really stepped up, and New Orleans is just such a quilt of culture, and with all the parishes and the difference in people, like you really have like such a vibrant color to that place that makes it really interesting.
With an undercurrent of like lawlessness,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of anarchy in the streets, kind of vibe, which fits this movie perfectly. Would there really be these people out there who wanted to, bump off a loved one or form them? It's like, New Orleans kind of has that little vibe in a good way.
It's got like the anonymity of like New York, where like no one really knows what you're up to or where you're going, but also like
there's your business, but it's still kind of a small town.
There's a swamp, you could get away with it. We were sort of short on time early on, where Rick and I, we didn't really get a chance to rehearse it ever. So like we never really talked about each of those characters in I never like put that in front of Rick before game day. So the funniest part was I would literally get out of the cast van and onto set, and Rick was kind of seeing it for the first time.
The full makeup.
Yeah,
like we had on a computer, we kind of made up. It's like, okay, they each had names. They were each different people, different accents.
Yes. He's like got like orange hair.
It's the freckles that freak people out.
There's something like he's got no eyebrows. He's kind of got this like recessed, dead-eyed look, and he looks like,
And that accent.
My thought with this one character, I call him Dean. My thought with Dean was that something really tragic happened to him when he was young, and he was stuck in this like sort of period of like infancy, where he's like almost like he wanted to be in like an ice cream shop for the rest of his life, just this like weird. And so it was so funny because that was a character that like we really I like through. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. This is gonna freak people out, but that was my favorite.
The good thing about we gave ourselves an excuse, like there wasn't no not working, because it's all kind of ridiculous, but kind of real. The real Gary Johnson would alter his appearance and to kind of customize it to the client, but nowhere near what we do in the movie. I mean, this thing's a comedy. We
of course
gave ourselves permission to just go way out there.
While I've got your guys' creative minds going, I'm curious if you have any ideas for Glenn. I think you pitched this in response to our Twitter post, in which we called Justin Hartley Glen Powell.
Did you see this?
You had an idea.
I heard about it.
Okay.
The most boring body swap comedy of all time.
Yes.
Have you been spitballing any plot ideas? Or
Rick, do you want to direct the Glen Powell Justin Hartley body swap movie?
Yeah, sure. Sign me up.
No, we haven't really riffed on we're talking about getting into the trenches again. We haven't figured out exactly what that is or what it looks like, but
I think this could be. There's a lot of like powerful people around here.
I think you'd get story by credit technically on that one.
I think it's clear you're the body swap guy of this generation.
He's in Paris right now shooting.
Yeah, I got so much.
A body swap with Justin Hartley movie.
I want to be in development and be in production in the fall.
Totally.
A body swap movie with Glenn. Justin.
Perfect.
That is so funny, by the way. That was such a dude. When this thing hit, I can't tell you how many people sent me that. It was so funny. Dude, I ran into him that night.
That's funny.
I ran into him that night.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we laughed about it. I'd never met him
that's good.
before.